Jay Goody died and saved people's lives. George Monbiot has never saved anyone's life or enriched anyone's life. Neither is Owen Jones, neither is Nish Kumar, or any other faux intellectual who looks down their nose at Joe and Jane Average. Jay Goody got cancer in a vagina and saved more people than Barack Obama. Welcome, one and all. It is me again, the intrepid host of Knowledge and Ignorance. Sexy face, chiseled jaw. Yeah, me. Big up your bad selves. How's it going? Feeling Christmassy? And if you're listening to this after Christmas or watching this after Christmas, feeling Christmassy? Probably not. We're going to begin this exercise, because this always is an exercise. We're going to begin this with a little anecdote, a little historical fact, and a little, story from history. All right, and then we're going to interweave through some subject matters. They're all sort of, it's pretty much the same subject matter, as you see from the title. And then once I've told this anecdote, and then, by the end, like a great movie, you're going to go back to it and go, wow, how clever are you? Yes, I am very clever. I was always told how clever I was. Yeah, I was. Anyway, did you know, in the country not too far from here, in fact the border is, it's less than 100 miles away, I think, is the land of Cambodia. Cambodia is quite famous, mainly for the killing fields and a lunatic called Pol Pot. Now, for those of you who don't know, Pol Pot was a man who had big ideas. He thought himself a revolutionary. He went to France and he heard the French talking all their weird stuff. I think Chairman Mao did the same thing. He factors into this along the way too. But anyway, he went to France and then he came back with these ideas. He kept going, I'm going to sort out society by creating a farming utopia. That was his idea. For everyone is going to be a better person if there's equality, and that means everyone's going to be a farmer. Which is kind of weird because a lot of people starve to death. So clearly they weren't very good farmers. Which means, not everyone can be a farmer. Therefore they have some sort of superiority towards, some superiority compared to some of us, don't they? Hey, think about that next time you're cussing out farmers. You farmer haters. Anyway, so let's go back to it. But along his journey of murdering people, there was one group of people that Pol Pot really didn't like, and that was intellectuals. I couldn't stand them, people who could read and write and shit. They were the elitists, and they had to go. And then what did Pol Pot do? Well, he killed them, didn't he? He just fucking murdered them. To the extent that there are refugees who say that Pol Pot had such a disdain for the elites that he just, he felt that they couldn't leave any stone unturned. They couldn't take any risks. So therefore, they also murdered people who wore glasses, because that was a sign of being an intellectual. Having inferior eyesight is a sign of being a superior brain type person. And he killed them motherfuckers. He was crazy. I mean, let's just face facts, If you're going to go through all the... Let's, have a niche list of crazy communist utopian tyrants. I mean, he's got to be the... Isn't he? Is he the number one lunatic on the list? He's got to be it's a tough call, but he's up there. That's what Pol Pot thought of intellectuals. You see, there are people out there who have such disdain for certain types of people and think they find them a threat, or so much that they think they are an inferior human being, for many different reasons. I'm not quite sure what Pol Pot's whole reason was, but they were a threat. They were a threat, and therefore they were no good for society. They were no good for his society, so therefore they didn't belong in his society. Their too much thinking up here was no good for society, so they had to fucking go. And you know what? There's a lot of people who will feel the same way about you. Now, whether or not they're gonna, put you into a forced labour camp until you die, or so you reach a stage where you got to choose which baby you're going to eat, and obviously you're going to make the wise decision, the fat one. You know, in the utopian hell, the fat kids are going to be eaten first. Remember that. You know, next time you're looking at some cake, you know, you walk past the fridge and there's a bit of cake in there, a bit of cheesecake, and it's 2 a.m. I can't sleep. I know what will help you sleep. Cheesecake. Maybe refrain from eating that cheesecake. Just keep it in your mind that one day when the communist utopia does come about, and you get put in a forced labor camp, someone is going to eat you, you fat bastard, alright? I know that that's not very PC, is it? Well, guess what? The world's not very fucking PC. It's not very fair. It's not very kind neither. But it can be kinder. You know, I got a friend who I give you countless examples of people's disdain for other people for various reasons. You know, I got a friend who told a very funny, he told a funny little anecdote. How when we were talking about, my other friend was talking about stupid people. Oh, bloody stupid people. God, stupid people. I can't stand them. They ruin everything, the stupid people, don't they? You know what stupid people do? They do stupid things, and stupid things ruin it for everyone. And my friend correctly pointed out, well, we need stupid people to do all the stuff we don't want to do. That's right. Yeah, my mother used to say stuff as well, like, these people shouldn't have the vote. Talking about people whose opinions she didn't care for too much, or people who she considered to be idiots. They shouldn't have the bloody vote. Fuck them. They should have their, this basic right that's given to them. The only power they have over government, the tiniest sliver of power you might have in your world, where you can wake up one day and go, well, I can bloody vote, can't I? Now, she'd want that taken away from some of you. She also didn't want Scottish people to be on television because she couldn't understand what they were saying, which is fair enough. If you can't understand what someone's saying, if someone's reading the news and it's very important, like the nuclear missile's coming, get into your bunker. It's like, it's like outside, it's coming off fucking. My mum's there going, what is he talking about, man? Obviously now we have more modern technology, so if the bomb threat does come, I think my mum will be okay with the imminent nuclear threat. She'll just get, she knows how that. She's got an iPhone. She'll have like an update. But back in the day it was a concern, I can't understand what this cunt's saying. I might be dead. Do you know what I mean? He's like, what did he say? I shouldn't drink this milk? Or this milk? I can't. Maybe it's a legitimate concern. That's how she felt, There's people out there who, and I've got friends who really thought, really bought into the whole Russiagate thing, the British version, the Cambridge Analytica, how, the whole idea of Brexit could be sold from some Facebook ad targeting. Bear in mind, and he was like, because I work in this field, I know how if you just alter a photograph on a different landing page and then it changes people's buyer behavior. But he is also a person, and he should remember saying this to me, someone who doesn't actually understand how Facebook ads work and whether they're worth spending money on. So, an expert in the field, but not the whole field. There's a little corner of the field where he doesn't go. It's just more examples of people's disdain for other people, how they think they are that stupid. To think that half the voting population that cast their vote over Brexit were these stupid, manipulated fools. But the intellectual elites, that's right, the intellectual elites, or the elitist types, the ones who like technocrats, they like neoliberalism, they like a big government of, some faceless corporation raping them every day. They kind of enjoy it. They go, we love the EU. They love it so much that they paint flags on their face and walk around like complete lunatics. And they paint it on their kids too, like it's the Nazis. It could be a swastika for all they care. They don't really care. They don't think. But they think that the other people don't think enough. They think they're the stupid people. I put it to you that the stupid person in this scenario is the person with an EU flag painted on their face. Why? Because you look ridiculous, that's why. Just from that alone of how ridiculous you look with a fucking EU flag painted on your face and going, I love Brussels. Do you know how ridiculous you sound? They're all racist and stupid. I'm not stupid. What do you think those people think? Those people think that the people that voted for Brexit shouldn't, one, don't know how to vote, two, shouldn't be allowed to talk. They shouldn't even be given a voice. They should be told to shut up and go away. That's right. Shut up and go away. There's a huge disdain. And we've all called them the intellectual elites because, well, that's basically what they are. There is this ruling class. I don't care what anyone says. You can go, oh, that's what alt-right incels, racist bunkers say, or whatever. Like, shut up. If you can't handle a conversation, then, well, don't have one, isn't it? That's basically it. You're not going to shut me up. You just walk away, like an adult. But that's what they think. A huge disdain for the masses. Joe and Jane Average. Yes, I talk about Joe and Jane Average almost every podcast now. But Joe and Jane Average are not fools just because Joe and Jane Average don't read the same books you'd read. And therefore, they're not the complete wastes of society. That's what they think. They think these people can't vote properly. These people don't contribute to society properly, not the way they should. You know, they hate them. They hate Joe and Jane Average. They hate them. They hate them because they like Dancing with the Stars. And that's the American version. What's the British one? Oh, I've been out of the country. Strictly Come Dancing. They hate them because they vote more often for I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here than they do in a general election. They hate Joe and Jane Average. They want to piss on them. They despise Joe and Jane Average, and they don't really hide it. They snivel on TV or in their shitty columns that took them 2 minutes to write because it's just the same thing. They have some sort of SEO generation machine. It just generates SEO content. If you don't know what SEO is, just go look it up. We're moving very fast here. And it just blurts out buzzwords so you get top trending. It's like, I need to get to the top of Google. Oh, right. The far right, white supremacists, racist, Brexit, gammon. And then they just splurge it out, and then then you get your Nish Kumar on his fucking TV show with his weird attempt at comedy. I'm not sure what it is. People have a problem with that fat woman with glasses. Pol Pot would have killed her. Then fat woman with glasses, the Australian that does the jokes that aren't jokes. She sort of just cries and goes, "I was raped." That woman who does. She's doing comedy better than Nish Kumar because at least, it's something different. You're just going, well, I don't find it very funny. But it is different. When Nish Kumar is just going, John Oliver, I'm worse. Do you know what I mean? I'm the bargain bin. I am the Pontins version of fucking John Oliver. That's what Nish Kumar is, isn't he? He's a Pontins version of Nish Kumar. Remember when Power Rangers were big and you go to a seaside town and you'd see the knockoff versions from China? Although the real version of Power Rangers were probably from China too. But this was from the rival factory that broke into their bin and stole the mold and went, ha-ha! And then they were just called Power Crusaders or something like that. Or Power Avengers or some crap. And they'd sell them for like quarter of the price. And go, and your mum would go, yeah, you like them Power Rangers, don't you? Fucking Power Ranger, mum, you absolute twat. No, don't be ungrateful, it's the same. Yeah. That's Nish Kumar. Because the kid knows, look, that's Nish Kumar, mum. I don't want that. I wanted John Oliver. That's him. That's him. He is the Power Avenger to John Oliver's Power Ranger. And this isn't like I'd considered John Oliver to be great. No, he wants Joe and Jane Average put against the wall and machine gun sprayed with a Mac 10. He has such disdain for them. There's a guy called George Monbiot. Monbiot, he's basically a conspiracy loon. But he's an intellectual conspiracy loon, unlike Alex Jones. So he's okay when it comes to conspiracy theories. It's alright, because George Monbiot got an articles published in The Guardian, and therefore he's not a conspiracy lunatic who says, all the prime ministers and the presidents who have political ideology that I don't like are being puppeted by oligarchs. It's like, that's him. He's the kind of guy who walks past a Jew and goes, Smells a bit lizardy. He's him. That's that fucking guy. He said that people needed to be re-educated. That's what he said. He'd send you to a re-education camp, like the ones they got in China. Because he probably likes the idea of it. He looks at those and goes, that's a really good idea. You know? I hate people like that, and I'll put them in a camp. Because why do the intellectual elites hate Joe and Jane Average and think they're worthless to society? They don't just hate Joe and Jane Average, they hate billionaires too. Because do you know why? Because they're in the middle. They're here, right? They're not really rich. They're not, they're not lower middle class or nothing like that. That'd be disgusting. They can read books. Even though they write, their writing style is aimed at a 12-year-old. They and they sort of wander around going, why don't I get the props that I deserve to get? Do you know how much disdain they have when they're all outside clapping for the NHS? Do you know how bad they felt? I'd feel bad because it's like, why am I clapping at the sky over the flu? But they're going, yes, but they haven't read Dostoevsky. They don't understand the nuances of a Kafka novel. They hate them. They really hate them. They hate the fact that they have to go see a doctor. Because they're like, praise the frontline workers. Yes, good for you. Because they probably think that if they just read their columns and stuff, or watched their crappy shows, they think that you wouldn't need doctors and nurses and frontline workers, or the police, or firemen, because everyone would be so, their brains would be so transformed by their intellectual superiority that the people wouldn't make no mistakes no more, you know what I mean? Nothing bad would happen because everyone would be enlightened by the things they say, These happy, clappy, dipshit motherfuckers, and that's who they are. And they hate billionaires because billionaires, they don't write. Some billionaires can barely read or write. But they come up with these great ideas that innovate the entire world, and they can't stand them. They get like, why have they got so much money and I don't? I'm an intellectual. Well, guess what? Most of the time, just talking about shit constantly doesn't get you paid. Okay? Just ideas. Because your ideas are crap. This is the thing. You can talk about other people's ideas and write it into beautiful prose. The guy that writes the biography of Elon Musk will write into beautiful prose. And then Elon one day said, I'm going to go to fucking Mars. In beautiful prose. And, that's what you're there for. But he's like, I ain't got ideas about Mars. Because when we get to Mars, I'm going to create a utopia. You see, they just love big, silly ideas. And they just force, they're just like, these silly ideas I have, why aren't you listening to them? Because they're crap, they don't work. Clearly, Elon Musk puts a Ferrari into space, or whether it was a Porsche, he puts that into space. You can even, I don't know what you can do. You can organise a garage sale. You wouldn't know what the fuck to do. I was like, but how does it work? Do people, what? A garage sale? But how does that work? I don't understand business. The intellectuals cannot stand it. I think Thomas Sowell said of Noam Chomsky, Noam Chomsky is a great neurolinguist, but no one would know who he was. No one really know who Noam Chomsky was if he was just a neurolinguist. But because he's a political commentator, that's why people know him. And his ideas are rubbish. That's a fact. Just because you're intellectual in some field doesn't mean you should start piping up about big ideas. You could be a very great expert on Greek mythology, but then don't start saying how, we're going to change, change the financial fortunes of the lower middle class. Keep that shit to yourself. Stick to your lane. Although, these days, who knows who economists are? I certainly worry. But there you go. Oh, there's a little dribble in this one. Better finish that. That's the problem with the elites. And you know what really fucked with them? This is what really fucked with them. because they had sort of a stranglehold on everything that was considered to be sort of, you know, ways of getting information to people. He was writing books. You know, they had a stranglehold on that. And then that got fucked up. Suddenly footballers getting biographies, and they were selling really well. You know, and then Nigella Lawson, here's how to cook food. And she's selling loads of fucking books. You know, she doesn't know where to put a semicolon, they're saying. Fuck this bitch. Taking up books. But then television came and saying, oh, we can take television. They're like that. We can be actors, directors, and writers. And they became celebrities. But you know what happened? Reality TV happened. And that really fucked with them. And basically from reality TV, people got kind of used to the idea of people just being famous for being themselves. And that was pretty much it. And I kind of argued that without reality television, you wouldn't have the YouTube streaming and podcasting space that you have now. It's revolutionized things, and I think reality TV might play a key role in that, because they couldn't fucking stand them. They can't stand YouTubers. They can't stand streamers. They hate them all. Why do they hate them so much? Well, because they take all the money away from them. Like, they hate PewDiePie as much as they hate fucking Zoella. It doesn't matter who they're going after. They hate all of them. And they couldn't stand reality TV stars. Jade Goody was a millionaire, and it drove them fucking insane. They go, look at these idiots liking Jade Goody. Look how they look down their noses at people on Love Island. As much as you can mock the idiots that go on Love Island, it doesn't mean they don't have any right to make money or anything. But they're like, oh, look at them. They don't even know what the capital of France is. Ugh. These insufferable people. Look how much money they make. What a fucking disgrace. What a fucking disgrace. How much money do you make writing your bullshit column and your silly books? You know? You read an Owens Jones book? This is why comas have been increasing tenfold with your fucking Owen Jones book. Oh, look at them. Jay Goody. They couldn't fucking stand Jay Goody. They loved it. When they started burning effigies of Jay Goody in India, they loved it. They're like, oh, good. Fucking burn the bitch. It's like, oh, shame we can't burn her in real life. They would have loved a mob of angry Indians to have dragged Jay Goody from her home in Bermondsey and set fire to her. They would have loved it. They would have gone mad for it because they couldn't stand Jay Goody. And yet, the intellectuals can talk about all they fucking like. You know, they can say, this is what you should do to have a better and productive life. This scientist says that you should get your cervix checked at least times a year. Okay? That's what you need to do. Jay Goody didn't even need to tell you about cervical cancer. She just died from it. And more people got their cervix checked. I think that is the correct term. I've said it enough times, it's going to have to be. Jay Goody saved more people from cervical cancer than anybody. That's right, Jay Goody. Jay Goody had cancer in her vagina, and it saved people's lives. And these pompous intellectual fucks who went to university and learned how to string words together to further confuse people when all they needed to say was, it's in the fridge. This is what they're like. They just use so many words strewn together just to confuse people, going, you don't know what I'm saying. It's like, no, you're just using too many words, bruv. You don't need that many fucking words. This is why you never get nothing done. You can't fly a sports car into outer space using that many fucking words. You take up 2 months of the year with all the fucking words that you needlessly spew out of your funky face. They could never save people's lives like Jay Goody did. Jay Goody just died. Like fucking Jesus Christ. Jay Goody died and saved people's lives. George Monbiot has never saved anyone's life or enriched anyone's life. Neither is Owen Jones, neither is Nish Kumar or any other faux intellectual who looks down their nose at Joe and Jane Average. Jay Goody got cancer in her vagina and saved more people than Barack Obama. Think about that next time you fucking put your head on the pillow at night. that they can't stand it. That really fucks them off. Jay Goody's vagina is worth more than you. And you got to think about this. There's people out there who genuinely don't want you to be able to say anything. There's people out there who genuinely don't want you to have the right to vote. They don't want you to have the right to have a voice because you don't say the things that they like, or you don't put it in the way that they like. And then they regulate your language. They keep changing what words mean and what words you can use, and you can't keep up saying. And then they look down their noses, going, "Well, you need to adapt to the ever-changing society. Things change. You got to keep up." No, because you keep changing them. Bullshit never changes. It's still bullshit. They're constantly fucking with Joe and Jane Average. They hate them. They hate them. They hate their happiness. People go, "Oh, I wish I could just be like this guy. He hasn't got a care in the world. Oh, he doesn't have to think about critical race theory. He doesn't even know, and he's so happy." You're just miserable up in their intellectual ivory towers, snivelling at all the people down below. That's what they're like. They hate people who like football. They go, "Look at them, they're animals. Look at them. Look at the state of them. These people are barely human." That's what they say. Look at these football fans. God, like animals in a zoo. We should gas them. That's how they look down at people. There's one thing that's alright for one group of people and something that's not alright for others. Look at these nations with their wet markets. Oh, it's alright for them. It's alright for them. They look at the Muslims and say, "Oh, I know we're all very encompassing of all homosexuals and transgenders, but they're not. But you know, I just wish they would learn to accept it. But we must give them time. We must give them time. They're not quite here yet where we are. They're not quite at our superior level, are they yet? Bless them. But they'll learn in time, like toddlers when they fall over and smash their face." This is how they speak to everybody. They just think everyone is a cunt, and everyone shouldn't have the same rights that they do. They shouldn't be allowed to vote. They shouldn't even be allowed to wipe their own fucking asses if they had their way. Like I said, there's a genuine disdain towards certain people. That certain people who don't have intellectual capacities have no place in the world. Well, guess what? I could probably, I could definitely write a better, I could write a better script, a better book than Mike Tyson. But he'd whip my ass. Do you know? You understand what I'm saying? Usain Bolt can run faster than me. There's some people out there who can work things out quicker than me. There's some people out there. Do you know, there's many people have their places and many people have their values. Many people can do many different great things. And there's people out there who will snivel at you because you can't fucking spell properly. Now, I don't like it when people can't spell properly because I couldn't read or write until I was about fucking 9 years old. I was severely dyslexic. Grammar and punctuation is something I'm very good at in the written form. I just choose not to use it when I'm fucking talking. I know many different words, but just because you know them doesn't mean you have to use them all the time. That's called showboating. If you can't explain it to everybody quickly, then shut the fuck up. That's why you have no place to be talking. You see, I have my own views on who should be allowed to talk and who shouldn't. That's why I'm not given power. And they are wise to not let me do so, just because I haven't got time for their bullshit. That's right. This is the problem we have. Looking down our noses at different people and saying, "Oh, you, with your shit." Like all the people who just gargle, just fucking spout off the same crap that they hear on the news all the time, going, everyone's, you gotta wear a mask and coronavirus, you gotta wash your hands, I know all this about corona. They go, "You don't know anything about coronavirus, you pleb." Look at these idiots. in the streets, marching for their freedom. They should be locked indoors, the same as us. They're the idiots. Because they're not doing what they're told. They're stupid people. How stupid they are. How stupid are these people protesting their freedom? Don't they realise that they won't have freedom unless they do exactly what they're told? That's right. And they'll tell you about everything that they know because they read it in a book or saw it on a documentary that they agree with. They'll tell you about the killing fields, about the book. You don't know what it was like in the killing fields. I do. I read this book. These motherfuckers just read or watched. They never experienced. There are people in society that are very smart here when it comes to, academia, putting things together, There's some people that are very smart with their hands. Okay, and then there's just ideas people who have no idea about anything else. Well, I know how to sort out society. I read a book. They've never been outside. Streetwise people know how to navigate the streets. The people who read about the streets don't know anything about the streets, and yet they're the ones who think they're going to fucking run the streets. Jesus. And they just regurgitate people. They think the idiots are the ones who question narratives, who go, no, I don't like that, saying, yeah, I'm not too sure about that, mate. They think they're the intellectuals. They think they're intellectually superior because they regurgitate and repeat the same talking points that they're told over and over again. They think every time they're told the same thing, and use coronavirus as a great example. Everything they've been told about it over and over again, they just repeat it, going, well, that's what we've been told, and that's the truth. But people wanting to leave the EU, no, you were manipulated because you saw the same Facebook ad over and over again. We're not susceptible to brainwashing and advertising. That's why I regurgitate the same fucking buzzwords that Owen Jones gets from his SEO machine when he writes an article. That's them, That is them. And they like these big, silly ideas. They champion it. In fact, way back when communism was sort of in its infancy and spreading across the world, many of the intellectuals in Europe, because they're the ones who think they can rule the world, they think they can run the world because they got the intellectual capacity to run the world, except they can't talk to people properly. They use too many words. They don't understand the people. They look at them as plebs. They're basically like the Roman elites back in the day before people could vote. They think the republic should just be run by a select group of people who make all the decisions. Go, yes, I vote, just all the same people. Not very diverse. Just all got the same mindset. This is what they want. I lost my train of thought. What the fuck was I going to say? But they don't want people to have the vote. They don't want people to be able to make decisions. And these intellectual types, used to look at the Soviet Union and look at Lenin. Used to look at Chairman Mao. I go, hey, this is brilliant. This is great. George Orwell got a lot of flack for calling communism out that he saw across the world because it wasn't the cool thing to do. The intellectuals liked the communists. They loved it. The intellectuals supported it. They supported it right to the end. They loved it. They always champion it. They champion it now. And yet, Chairman Mao, someone who, people like Jean-Luc Godard, the great director, he used to love Mao. Well, probably still does. He's still alive, isn't he? Mao's dead. He loves him. But Mao's number one enemy was the intellectual. He fucking killed them all. Pol Pot's number one enemy were the intellectuals. He fucking killed them all. Well, he tried to kill as many as possible. They killed them all. So who's the real dickhead out there? I mean, who is the proper idiot when it comes to it? Who are the people who shouldn't have a voice and should be re-educated and told what they should say. Oh, you can't say that, you can't think that. We'll tell you what to think and what to say. We're the intellectuals. How can you use the word intelligence in your title? And they say, oh, there's this real movement of anti-intellectuals out there. Oh, it's like Nazis. It's like the Nazis. No, motherfucker. The anti-intellectuals, people just want you to fucking listen instead of talk too much. Because the real anti-intellectuals are the ones you supported all along. And they killed you. Because you're maybe that's why you love them so much. Because, well, they recognise how dangerous we are. Who's the biggest idiot? You know, I don't remember any Jews going, Hitler, great. He's doing a bloody good job. You know? Jews aren't idiots. Intellectuals are idiots. You champion and support people and causes that hate you and will have you killed. That's right, they'll wipe you off the face of the earth. Or maybe they just looked at it and went, well, we'll do the opposite, but with all the stupid people and create an intellectual utopia. It'll be a very good intellectual utopia when all you do is talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and then you will all starve to death in your own killing fields of your own making. Yes, you may have tried to create your intellectual utopia, but the fact is you couldn't get anything done because you don't know how to do anything. You don't even know how to fucking screw in a light bulb. You know, but the man does that. You know, the man, the light bulb man. The light bulb man was dead. You killed him. And now you're like, we don't know how to grow food. We don't even know how to hunt. And it makes us feel awfully queasy. Saying, I need my medication. I need my sniffles medication. I'm allergic to that. Mumsy wouldn't give me any of that when I was a child. And you'll die. You'll die. You'll fucking die in your own made killing fields. You couldn't even build a bridge to go across the river to where the fucking deers are that you got to eat. Even though you're not going to eat them. But one day you're like going, well, we've got to stop being vegans. We've got to eat those deers. That's right. And then you'll look around and none of you will be fat enough to eat. You're going, wow, no one's a good option. We'll just have to... Everyone's fair game. You'll all be cannibals. You'll all be cannibals. You'll cannibalize each other. Because you all talk too fucking much. And you killed everyone that was useful. That's right. The stupid people. Who's really fucking stupid, bruv? Let's lay it down. You can use all your words to separate people, all your words to make people feel stupid, all your silly little words, all your silly little words, all these phrases, just mashing words together. Oh, well, actually, I'll tell you about this. I'm very well read. Yeah, okay. You know, you can write the manual, my friends, but you won't know how to, you won't be able to teach the manual people. It'll be a crap manual. Someone can tell you what you need to write in the manual. So there you go. Did that blow your mind? It fucking did, didn't it? I was right. The intellectuals are fucking stupid. They clap along to people who want them dead. There you go. But everyone has a role to play. To be all serious and kind of talk like myself, everyone's got a role to play. Everyone's useful. From making films and stuff, you soon learn that everyone is important. And there are ones who balls up on set and shit and be like, I'm the most important thing here. You're not, bro. Intelligence is not just in here. Intelligence runs throughout your entire body. You know what they say about Paul Scholes? You ever heard Paul Scholes talk? Yeah, how was it, Paul? I kicked the ball, went in the net, and I scored a goal. Brilliant. But they say he's just an intelligent footballer. He's got a master footballing brain. There's no words in there. It's just the ball going. And he's looking at people. In older times, this guy would have been a fucking badass general. He could have been a strategist. You could bring Paul Scholes into a war room and he'd look at it and just go, oh, fuck me, we're going to get absolutely caned over there. That's where you meet the Taliban, on that ridge. Shit, where's the drones? Put the drones over there, you fucking dickheads. Jesus, where's the... Oh, Jesus. What, you got the aircraft carriers north of this fucking shore? Are you dickheads? Obviously he wants to be like, you dickheads, Paul Scholes. That's right. No, what do you think is going to happen if you put Owen Jones in there? What, yeah? George Monbiot. What's going to happen then? Well, guys are saying blah 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 words blah 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 blah. Let's have a think on this. Blah 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 blah. Boom! The enemy's taking you out, and you just chat shit. That's right, motherfuckers. Paul Scholes could launch a fucking car into space, and Jay Goody saved more lives than your funky ass ever will. So, have a swivel on a couple of these, you uptight pricks. No one's putting nobody in no gulags, and no one's telling anybody what to fucking say or think. And no more. Not whilst I'm bloody here. Remember that. Next time you're gonna fucking be snivelling down your nose at the gammon, or the fucking deplorables, or whoever it is you want to point your fucking greasy finger at and tell them they're shit cunts. Jake Goody's vagina did more for humanity than you ever will. Think about that when you go to bed at night on your fucking shitty pillow. Anyway, if you like what I do, go to the website, sign up to the main list, and eventually there will be push notifications. This is where it's all at. Everything, everywhere you'll find me. If you're listening to this, you're probably finding me on a nice platform. If you're watching this, you're seeing I'm doing this sort of swaying motion like this, like I'm at a fucking Michael Bublé concert. But that's seriously no. Wherever you're absorbing this, go to the website, baby. The website. Thank you. Now go be nice to someone and listen to what everybody has to say, not just the people you think are fucking clever. Alright? Remember, peace.